Alright, hopefully we are live, and if we aren't live, then I'll just have to repeat all of this and act like I knew I was doing it the whole time. Hi everyone here on Speed Gaming, it's me, Woat, and Caleb's here, and Danny's here, but you can't hear her. Okay, Miss Metroid is yelling at me. Or not. I don't know what's happening anymore. Hi everyone, you're pains in the butt. I haven't gotten much sleep. This is going to be great. Anyway, how are you doing tonight, Caleb?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited. Doing commentary on a flag set designed by Lord Fizzlebeef for just like on a weekly showcase for the Randomizer 3.0. Pretty excited.
Yeah, this is going to be a very entertaining little set of flags. We haven't really done too many shard hunts recently, so everyone enjoys a good shard hunt. And by a good shard hunt, I mean this is either going to take no time or it's going to take forever. Anyway, we might as well go ahead and let the runners get rolling because, yeah. So for those of you who haven't seen a Final Fantasy I randomizer-style shard hunt, basically what is done is all of the treasures that no one likes have been replaced with MacGuffins. Collect 25 MacGuffins, in this particular seed's case, and you get to go to the Temple of Fiends Revisited. And then you have to do all of Temple of Fiends Revisited, because we didn't bother to shorten it this time, because Fizzlebeef is the cruelest of all cruel men.
But we gave them a free airship so they can, like, get around and stuff, so that's cool, right?
It's not going to make a difference!
I mean, it might.
I mean, at the very least, it's like what 200% scaling on enemies, non-clamped, and like there's a bunch of loose key items that may not matter, possibly will. It's going to be entertaining.
So we got the gate dropped, so I'm sure we'll be switching over to the appropriate layout so we can see what our runners are up to here any second now.
Oh good, that wasn't just me.
Right?
Yeah, but anyway, the important thing is everyone's running around and doing stuff. And whoever's audio we have, you can hear that airship. And they've already checked probably Matoya or the dwarves.
I'd imagine we probably had a look at level 1 magic as well.
Maybe. There's a lot of free chests you can grab right off the bat. Go ahead and get that money together so you can check the magic and pay for it all.
That is true. That's a good point to bring up. So is that you're right. It has been a while since I've done Shard Hunt. I guess I typically just fly up, run through the Cardi Isles, Matoya, and then circle back through the towns buying stuff.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that gives you a decent amount of cash, it gives you some gear to start up, it lets you kind of figure out where you want to hit up first, like, ooh, did I find enough stuff to go ahead and hit Volcano? Or do I need to start slow and do something easy like Marsh Cave? But, that was sarcasm, by the way. But yeah, no, we are having a few technical difficulties, folks, but we will just sit here and speculate on what the runners could be doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, yeah, the thing with Shard Hunt is, it's actually, we were actually talking earlier today in the Discord about, like, the 2018 Spring Tournament flags, which incidentally are 2020 Spring Tournaments coming up in a month, everyone.
Yeah. We got a lot of people signing up. You could be one of them. Just join the randomizer and get signed up. That's what I did last year.
Yeah, but no, what I was going to say is 2018 actually, and 2017 as well, those spring tournaments actually did kind of have a similar metagame to sort of what you want to do with Shard Hunt, where the focus is a lot more on, all right, I need to hit high-density locations as quickly as I can, because that's where all of the value lives. 2018 to a lesser extent than 2017, but the point being, you know, you're looking for hitting as many chests as you can as quickly as you can.
Yeah. Yeah,
Let's
you want.
see.
So the shards, if I'm not mistaken, because it changes. It doesn't really change what's in the boxes per se, but it does take away all the heal potions and replace them with the shards. So that's where the
Yeah, heal potions, low gold GP chests. Let's see. I think maybe some of the pures. I can't remember off the top of my head. I know it doesn't replace softs because we need those.
So it looks like we're getting some clarification from Speed Game, and we're gonna have to kind of reboot some stuff. But are we down?
Yeah, we're down. So, I mean, I think we're still. I mean, I'm going to keep talking as though they can hear us because I can't tell if they can hear us or not. But anyway, but yeah, so it's one of those things like, here we go. I think we might be alive. Okay, they can hear us. Cool.
Awesome.
Cool. So anyway, yeah. So in this freeze frame that I'm assuming y'all can see, apparently the princess handed over the cube. The king gave us something. I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Easy life too. That's going to be convenient. But yeah, so I feel like this seed is going to play out kind of like a chaos rush in some ways.
We've already got.
We're looking for pieces today.
Yeah.
Where basically you're going to see runners kind of going in to Topher maybe a little bit less comfortably than they normally would. That's kind of what the airship I've noticed tends to do to the mindset of it's just like, as soon as I feel like I can take Topher, I go.
Ooh, we got a Sun Sword in the Cardials. That's going to be really nice for Spell Zap.
That's going to be nice for everyone. That sucker is basically, hey, did you bring a fighter and a red mage?
Yeah.
Well, now you got a weapon for for your red mage after you find a good weapon for your fighter.
Yep, and Dangwu talks to Sarda and gets the slab. So we're starting to put the pieces together here.
Are we, though? Are we really?
And I don't know what happened on Life Reboot screen, but this is a very harrowing looking pirate fight.
If I had to take a guess, probably tackling pirates at level 1. Because we didn't get to see what they have at level 1, but I'm guessing that they might not have gotten a sweeper.
Yeah. He does. He is set up nicely for a low level black belt grind. So, if you needed your party to get taken down to just one member, now's the time to go do that black belt grind.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask what the XP looks like. So, Provoca is in Elfland. Okay. Pieces are coming together.
Yeah, towns are shuffled, entrances are not. XP is set to 3x. So this is actually a solid black belt seed.
And with the shard hunt, you're still... So typically the dynamic is if you got to open a lot of boxes, you don't want to bring a black belt, you want to just stick with the fighter because you're going to get gear for them. That's sort of the way of thinking. But with shard hunt, you're still opening boxes, but the black belt... I don't know if... do you think you're opening more or less or fewer boxes with the shard hunt compared to a standard, 2 loose seed? Because nothing's loose here.
Well, okay. Here's the thing, is you can still kill fiends for shard pieces. So I think you kind of wind up in this weird equilibrium where you're opening boxes, but your threshold for opening boxes isn't necessarily good equipment. It's going to be just, I can go kill one more fiend, get what I need, and go.
And Bicky holding on to the required loot as Dangwu joins Life Reboot in the... Life Reboot in the Killed the Pirates group. Yeah,
so, like I said, we don't have a short toe for tonight, so loot and key are absolutely required.
As will be any of the dungeon items that we want to get to a fiend. If we don't want to open boxes, the only fiend that we can get to take out is going to be Carrie, and she's only going to give us 2 shards.
Yeah. But it is one of those things, getting to carry still puts a lot of boxes in your path. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I generally like the volcano as a early play when it comes to shard hunts like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as you can comfortably survive that sucker, you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
The key word there is comfortably survive that sucker.
Ooh, that's why we got level 1 rub and fire from Canaria. Looks like that's what Life Reboot picked up for his Black Mage.
And
So,
you know the situation's dire when you're picking up rub.
it's a hot yoga spell session. And we got King with Canoe.
Okay, so that's what the king had, and the princess has the cube.
Okay.
Because yeah,
so,
we came in literally after Dang had talked to the king, but before he talked to the princess.
mhm.
So
the canoe's huge because now we have access to that waterfall, which will also be another key item location, as well as the Temple of Ordeals.
yeah, ordeals. I feel like.
And
With this-
Masa and is it Masa and Powerbonk are the only loose like vendor or gear in the pool, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So, and we also have a tail floating around. But yeah, so okay, here's my here's kind of where I would be thinking at this point. Once I kind of have those first 4 spell levels, my inclination would be pick a couple of fights on the overworld, get some levels on those mages, and then head for ordeals. Because you have this firepower to tackle ordeals with the spell layout we've got. And ordeals will get you the experience you need to deal with carry.
That's fair. So how many levels are you looking to get before you go into Topher? Or I'm sorry, Temple of Fiends. I'm sorry. Wow, let me talk. The Temple of Ordeals.
I'm usually comfortable hitting ordeals at like level 7 or level 8. Maybe level 6 if I've got good magic.
I did a run the other day through it with no sweepers and a fighter and 3 black mages at level 4, I think. It was harrowing.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're an idiot, but...
I did it. I did
yeah,
it.
no, that's the thing, is like, ordeals I feel like is one of those plays that you want a gun for. Alright, so the old men today have a power bonk, which is nice. Because the thing is like, a lot of things in ordeals have very clear vulnerabilities. So if you have the equipment to take a couple of punches and have the spells necessary to blast them down quickly,
yeah,
you can rack up a lot of early game experience if you can get to ordeals and make it out.
Yeah, it's really good. Even if you just have like Fire 2, on like 2 Fire 2 casters, you can get through there pretty easily.
Yeah, so it's one of those things, and I think Spells app is opting to do what we like to call the old backwards Peninsula of Power. Full disclosure, I don't think anyone has ever actually called it that until now. No, Lord Fizzlebeef designed these flags. The Woat Special was a threat.
Yeah. Well,
not a promise.
Didn't craft the flags, he just rolled the seed.
Yeah.
So, we'll see something.
Y'all will see something. As a friendly reminder to everyone, including the runners watching this VOD, the threat of a Woat Special still lingers overhead if y'all don't have flags for next week.
So I just want to point something out, Woat. Our right side runners, Salty Fry and Dangwu, basically holding hands in the Volcano Armory. Our left side runners, Spell Zap and Life Reboot, both holding hands in the Peninsula Power Grinds. One's doing the North Pop, one's doing the South Pop. Both doing pop pop.
Yeah, no, I don't... Okay, I didn't see what the gas D-tile is, but good lord, I think we found the grind spot for preparing for Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Based on where Salty Fry was, my assumption is that's the Grey Worm tile. Because he was in the cluster.
Yeah, Gas Dragons, the infamous, hey, I heard that you enjoy breaking the XP tables encounter. Um,
So
'cause,
yeah, that's the one that did it.
mm-hmm.
Too much XP for the game to handle.
Yep.
Yeah. Level 5 Warp locked out a Lightning 3 though. That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, but if you gotta take one, I kind of feel like Warp is the one you'd rather have. Because that means getting to,
Yeah.
kind of skip out on ice until later if you just want the thing. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so we have a question in chat. What are these pieces? So the flags tonight that we are doing is what we call the treasure hunt setup. Basically, instead of the usual fight the 4 fiends, light the 4 orbs, go fight chaos. Instead, you collect a randomly determined number of MacGuffins. In this case, they're called pieces. They can be called shards, espers, spirits, any number of things. But the goal is collect however many the game tells you to collect, and that's what gets you into the final dungeon.
Yep.
So they have replaced basically all of the low money chests and all the heal potion chests. No, Miss Metroid, we're collecting MacGuffins. It's a classic cinematic term coined by Alfred Hitchcock. It's a thing. Trust me on this one.
But a McMuffin is a classic breakfast item coined by Ray Kroc to make things really good in the morning. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Are you a McMuffin guy, Wope?
I'm more of a McGriddle.
It's fair. A little too sweet for me, but I can dig it.
See, I have a horrible sweet tooth. It's kind of a miracle. I still have all of my original teeth.
Ooh, we got Exit that will be learnable by Red Wizards in the 3rd slot in Canaria, and not much else doing in level 6 Black Magic. Astos with the Crystal. I missed what gave us the crown, but Salty Fry got it.
Let's see. Judging by his movements, I'm going to guess it was loose somewhere in Volcano.
That would make sense.
Oh, never mind. It's the vendor item at Oasis.
That would also make sense.
I suppose we could have checked Danny's notes, but... I mean, come on. Who actually pays attention to her hard work? We love you, Danny. Please keep tracking.
I only got so much real estate on my screen. I click to the notes when I need to, but I like that piece. And we got the herb. So, vanilla herb, which I guess we were expecting. So the crown will lead to the key with these.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure herbs are beans, though, Caleb. Or vanillas are beans. Or once again, folks, working on 3 hours of sleep.
Did you say bees?
Beans.
Beads?
Caleb, I will end you.
Bees? So the bees lead to keys, and Salty Fry's walking out of Elfland.
Meanwhile, Spellzap is going to go see what Marcy's got on her.
And robots are friends, and bulls and scorpions. Elfland armor, we got an opal bracelet. That's pretty good find, especially running a melee thief as your hero. Oh, we didn't put it on the thief. So
yeah, I assume that. Yeah, I assume that Salty obeys the classic saw of no, you protect the person who can pick everyone up first.
That's fair. It's a valid strategy. And with Spellzap getting the tail, he's probably going to just get out of here and just go promote immediately and get that ninja up and get in spell slots.
Mm-hmm. Of course, the tricky part is getting out of here.
And Canary Lock incentivized with the rod. So if we want to kill Lich, we can. 2 free pieces.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to get down there, which
is, from what we've seen in the past few weekly races, Earth is not always forgiving.
Yeah, in Zozo Melman earlier, we saw some undead with stun touch, so that's probably going to play a factor as well. Like, it is one of those things where we Earth is not free. Its bosses are free, but the dungeon itself is not.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Life Reboot is happy with his pop grind and is back on. Oh, we're gonna get our first look at ice. exciting.
Yeah. Okay, that light axe and that black shirt in Dwarf Cave, that actually will make Earth a little more enticing, I think.
Ooh, we got a game changer in the free chest in the Dwarf Cave. That's pretty cool.
I mean, Spellzap's the only person who's likely going to be able to throw it on someone.
Salty Fry's got the thief.
Well, but the tail.
Oh, well, I'm sure most people will go to Waterfall at some point.
Yes, but they haven't done it yet.
Soon. I hope.
Spellzap going to go ahead and make that Ordeals raid.
Ooh, that's a wonderful tile that Life Reboot found. If those red Ds don't have much HP, but not gonna even test them. Gets a boat in a box and a piece in a box. And we got this is a really friendly. Well, depending on what they have, this is a really black belt friendly ice cave for these grinds.
Yeah, I didn't quite see if Life Reboot had a chance to pick up Warp, but considering the fact he's fighting this tile, I'm thinking he probably didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is the undead tile as well, and he just did the. Yeah, you're right.
Excuse me.
And Dang was checking all the key locked, hoping for the TOF
Well,
special.
They're more or less free, especially if you've gone ahead and picked up some levels.
Yeah.
Like the only key locked chests that aren't free are the one in Sea Shrine and the ones in Marsh Cave.
But whoa, Medusas have squint and looked like a bunch of nasty stuff that wiped out.
I also saw Dazzle.
Yeah, I saw the dazzle, saw the squint. I don't know what else they were packing. And glare from chat, thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes Ordeals does just become Rocket Tag.
It's got to be, what was that, Wild Arms, where you get the roller skates? That's what we need in Final Fantasy Randomizer. We need roller skates to zoom through dungeons without encounters in straight lines.
Well, either way,
I would play that.
Yeah.
Dengu grabs his rod, and Salty Fry is also in Ordeals now, dealing with Frosties. I'm assuming.
Now he's grinding on that tile in Northwest.
Northwest, yeah. I got fooled by the battle backgrounds. I was assuming this might be the throne or the spike tile that Spellzap's on.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So.
And Sea Snake's above Quad X range. Reset Spellzap.
Yeah, I mean that's not great because we're gonna see those again in a couple of places. We really don't want to see those again.
Yeah. And loose adamant, so Life Reboot will have access to an Excal if he wants to sell it, or just like keep it and put it on like a mantle or something. Could be a nice mantelpiece.
Oh, absolutely.
Alright, let's Spellzap fighting the Sea Snake boss. We're gonna... how are we gonna do this? We're gonna... Fade. We're gonna Ice 3. So 250 look like the max roll there. Ice 3 comes out. Okay, so it looks like the Sea Snakes are hanging out probably around 450 HP.
Yeah, that seems about right. Which, yeah. So for the folks who don't, try to keep track of where you fight everything in this game in their heads, we're going to see those again in both the Sea Shrine and the Sea Shrine themed floor of Temple of Fiends Revisited, which are two places you really don't want to see massive sea snakes.
And Sorcerers also unrunnable, but they should be susceptible to Quad X and looks like that Sun Sword Spellzap swinging, or a Flame Sworder.
Yeah. I mean, they are vulnerable to the same thing that many other things are.
There's our loose canal behind the TNT. So we get a Pro Ring and a piece and a TNT. So, little XP boost, some little bit more gear.
Yeah,
Another
sorry,
piece.
I'm kind of looking down at that life screen and trying to figure out what did this to him.
Who hurt you? Who hurt you, Life Reboot?
The fact that he got away is impressive to me.
So, Life Reboot is one of the recent graduates from the Randomizer Discord's Duckling program. We had a Duck Derby just a few weeks ago, and Life Reboot finished in that Duckling class and is now running with the vets and the pros, Spellzap, Dangwoo, and Salty Fry. And that could be you. If you're out there watching, never played this game before, you can hop on over on the Discord, get signed up, and Greggly Puff will show you the ropes and get you learning how to use a black belt in no time. And other things in the game too. He's pretty good about it.
I was going to say, don't go lie to the people.
Oh, are you saying he won't teach them how to run a black belt?
No, I'm saying that Greggly Puff will run a black belt in your presence. Whether or not that teaches you anything is another story.
It teaches me that blue stakes are a viable XP fight.
That's delicious.
Big old treks. So Spellzap got the Oxyale from Temple of Ordeal. I'm sorry, he got the bottle, which will give him the Oxyale and give him access to the Sea Shrine, should he choose to go attempt a Kraken kill for 4 pieces.
Well, not just Kraken, but that mermaid floor is pretty juicy in Shard Hunt.
Absolutely. How many chests are there, Woe? You're
asking me to do math live on Twitch. It's at least like 12.
I was just saying it because some you're one of the old pros. Some of y'all just have that knowledge in your head.
Caleb, I don't know who's spreading lies about me, but you need to tell them to stop.
But Salty Fry just got a wizard stick on the Agama floor. So there's our... Yeah.
Yeah, that's our ticket to kill and carry.
But these Gasties, also with Dazzle. But we got Ice 3. That'll be pretty effective against them. As Spellzap's going to go on his key chain. But the Gasties also have Trance. And Dazzle. And...
I mean, I guess you could just say that these scripts that we're seeing are pretty stunning.
So it looks like Life Reboot is back in Ice. I'm assuming this is for a grind. He was very deliberate about walking directly towards this Chimera tile.
Well, I think Life had to reset out.
I think this is his grind. He's got really good levels. He just hit 15, 16. So I think whatever progress he made through Ice, he kept. And he came back down here specifically to get levels on his black belt.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm having a little bit of choppiness on my end, so I may have just missed him actually managing to get out of Ice.
Yeah, last I saw he was on the floor, but then I saw him walk in through the front and drop down. So...
No, either way, like I said, this is kind of the nature of the beast. You have, like, everyone pretty much already has their loot, or... Well, okay, I guess actually only...
So, everyone's got the loot.
Everyone's got their loot, everyone's got their key. So really, at this point, you just need your shards, and the easiest way to get those shards is to beef up so that you can just punch your way to every chest you want.
Mm-hmm. So I think Life Reboot is the only one who hasn't gotten the crystal to start, or I'm sorry, the crown from the vendor.
Yeah, but it's one of those things like, once you find it, you know, unless he forgets about Oasis, which is always a possibility, but it's a very slim one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, having the levels already is going to make it a lot easier for him to just start kicking indoors and demanding to see everyone's stuff.
And we got sorcerers with stone touch, so maybe that's what did it.
You know, normally with sorcerers, it's just like, oh, good, you don't have death touch. You're statistically unlikely to have death touch. It's just rude when they wind up having stone touch instead. It's just like, yeah, but we got something that's almost as good.
And the mages have rub. Spellzap grabs his Vorpal, still hasn't promoted.
So, you know what I just realized is the other really rude thing about those sea snakes?
What's that?
We have unrunnables can do first strikes and ambushes on tonight. Which, for those of you who are unfamiliar with that flag, basically it's a flag. Normally in Final Fantasy I, if something is unrunnable, it can never ambush you, and you can never sneak attack it. There's a flag that changes that functionality, and it makes everything unpleasant.
So, chat points out that it was mummies that wiped out Spellzap's waterfall run, and he never went back, and it looked like Dangwu was about to succumb to the same fate, but managed to survive the horrid mess that was these mummies. But Spellzap going back for that Vorpal, or for the tail now that he's got the Vorpal, I guess.
And Salty Fry picking a fight with Carrie.
It's a solid move. You're here, might as well do it. It's 2 free.
Okay, name the last time Carrie 1 was free.
Today.
He's gonna sit there and make a liar out of me. I see how it is.
30 seconds ago, Woat.
Okay, look, Carrie 1 is one of those bosses that you can never be too sure on.
Yeah.
Because,
even if she's low health, she's still a glass cannon.
Yeah,
she
like...
roll out Blaze and just send out the bad times.
Or she just punches the person that you were going to kill her with to death, and then suddenly you're scrambling to figure out if you have any status effects in your inventory.
Alright, so Spellzap gets his tail fishing Marcy to the door and just warps out. Didn't want to go in there and get the boxes, didn't even want to mess with the mummy trap tile. Dangwu was talking to Bahamut, going to get his promotion with his...
Yeah, I don't actually think we saw anything of value in those boxes anyway, so...
Yeah, I think there was just a piece.
Yeah, he made the right move.
Yeah. So, Dangwu going to organize his gear post-promotion, as Life Reboot is going to take some more levels on these chimeras to hopefully get his MDEF up enough that stun touch, or that stone touch, will stop hurting him. What's a good level to stop at if you're working on one of these grinds, Woat?
It depends. I personally, let me double check what kind of percentages we're staring down. Okay, so we're looking at 250 unclamped for enemy stats. So I think with the magic we've seen and the equipment we've seen, I would probably say anywhere between 21 and 24 probably is at least good enough to where you can make a good probing assault on Temple of Fiends Revisited and at least figure out where the roadblock is, instead of getting stymied by something on the way down.
Mm-hmm.
That shouldn't stymie you.
So, Reboot continues the Chimera grind. Spellzap comes into the ice cave. Salty Fry's here now. Neither of them have the information on the Stone Touch sorcerers. Spellzap saw them in ordeals, but was able to get turn order and not see that. So, I wonder if this is going to be one of those instances where one runner sees it, no one else does, and vice versa.
It could very well be. It just kind of comes down... Because it looked like the sorcerers are a fairly soft target. And the thing is I think everyone else is coming in at a high enough level compared to when Life came down here, that they're basically just going to lay waste to them.
Oh, no. Reboot just got rubbed to death by mages.
Oh.
And we saw pro rings. I believe they were in Gaia for 13k, along with the gold bracelets, I think, which were like 26k.
Yeah. So that right there is the reason I always bring a thief.
Mm-hmm. And it's the masa in the incentivized chest. So technically you don't need to come here, but everybody will want to come here. So the upside to Spellzap's Ice Dive is that he came in here with a high enough level to have that warp charge to only have to walk through this place once. Unlike Salty and Life Re... Oh, looks like... Nope, Salty doesn't have the warp charge either.
Yeah, so it is one of those things. The people who are bringing... Well, okay, it's just Salty on our screen who's brought a black belt. He might want to get that black belt up into the 30s.
Yeah.
Because it's relatively inexpensive to do so in terms of time. Unless, of course, the mages are just rude. But his thinking may be to get that black belt up toward one-punch status, and then go from there.
So it looks like Spellzap saw the stone touch, and saw the rub.
Yeah, I was going to say, did the mages also have something to stone, or is that just, did he just bring a statue with him into this fight?
I don't think that was the case. But this ice cave is not being an ice cave. It's being an ice cave.
Yeah. It is interesting, because there are 3, formal caves in this game. The Ice Cave, the Marsh Cave, and the Earth Cave. And all 3 of them are just hateful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. None of them play nice. I mean, they can, but it's not often.
Yeah, it's just only one of them actually has, one of the forces of destruction that is threatening the very planet on which you're residing. And it's probably the least hated of the 3 of them. Earth Cave's not hated for its encounters, it's hated because it takes forever to get through.
So, you bring up an interesting point. This world is a planet. It's a very small planet, wouldn't you think? It's only 5 cities, 6 cities?
I mean, I'm a firm believer in the RPG conservation of detail, but that's neither here nor there.
There's one volcano on this whole planet?
I mean, look, if you want to try and convince the devs to rewrite the game to contain, also the world map from Final Fantasy II, then by all means.
It's a pretty small planet. Maybe it's more of a moon. You got a pro ring, cabin. So
I mean, I can think of at least one runner who really, really, really wanted that pro ring.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he never quite got to those boxes. And he doesn't have that black shirt either, so once he finds... I don't think he's coming back here. He's just going to see that masa and probably be bittersweet. Yeah, it'll be nice to give Hale his red mage, but for all this effort, he's been in here, 15, 20 minutes almost?
Yeah.
He's been in here just doing the big work, as Dangwu finds the Gasties and is going to try to take them out regardless of their dazzle trance.
Yeah. I mean, it is one of those things. They're delicious, and if you can figure out, how to bop them good, you're gonna rack up the experience quickly.
And Life Reboot did his Chimera grind, walked right out, dropped the house, and came right back in.
I mean...
That's smart. I mean, it's going to get him the added assurance to not see...
Yeah, at this point it looks like Life is basically... It looks like his strategy for this race is essentially... I'm going to assume everyone is going to focus on getting to Temple of Fiends as quickly as they can. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to wager that with this scaling, Temple of Fiends is going to be horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to get through that is to bring a man who punches all of the horrible to death.
And I wonder if Spells app is committing to the 2-party member strategy with the ninja and the white wizard. That feels like a very Spells app thing to do.
I mean, it's not a terrible idea. Because, yeah, the thief/ninja is slower to gain HP compared to basically anyone else who you actually want swinging a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, a grind like this gets you a lot of XP that you can hang on that thief to get that XP up. The thief's already going to be hitting like a truck.
Mages have glance. So first turn glance, first turn rub. That's what mages are working with. So...
Okay, so yeah, that was the mages who turned someone to statuary before.
Mm-hmm. And Dangwu doing some administrative work, picking up some bracelets and pro rings, buying some jewelry. He's still got a mess of shards to find. It looks like he's only got about 7.
Yeah, it looks like, by and large, most of our runners haven't really racked up too many shards so far. I think there has been a lot of emphasis in the early game. Excuse me.
Salty Fry just parked in the spot where I used to park my ship when I played the game as a kid, before I learned about parking it in the other spot.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. Salty is an old hand at this.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if old habits have died hard for him. Yeah, we have had a forfeit, incidentally, and judging by the comment left, which I cannot repeat on a family channel, I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume that it probably involved the mages in Ice Cave.
Mm-hmm. Or the sorcerers, or the general mess that is the Ice Cave.
You know, honestly, it's a little bit comforting, because when I first picked up this randomizer, Ice Cave was awful. And it's nice when Ice Cave occasionally is just like, oh, you people dread Earth or Marsh more than me? Well, let me remind you what fear looks like.
See, the thing, I don't mind Marsh Cave. I know Marsh Cave there's the whole, like, oh, Never Marsh group and stuff like that, but I'm gonna give away some of my spring tournament Swiss strategy, but if Marsh isn't required, I will still go to Marsh, because I feel like it's 2 to 3 minutes to reset and to check about 9 to 10 boxes that no one else is going to check. And should one of those 9 to 10 boxes have something that is for the end game, I'm going to have done that before everyone else, and everyone else will come in later. So I don't mind the Marsh Cave. Ice is a little different, because there's so much walking before you get to a box that it kind of turns me off a little bit on it.
Yeah, see, I'm generally of the opinion, like, I like to be able to both open boxes and gain experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, if I can do one or the other, then that's generally where I want to be. And Marsh sucks for experience. And so I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
If I can help it. Like, yeah. I'll do it, but...
And Salty Fry getting the information about the Stone Touch sorcerers. Ice 3 will take care of it. It looks like they have fewer than 95 HP. Spellzap gets his carry kill win condition with the Wizard Stick. And Life Reboot is unfortunately still trying to get out of here. And I wonder if he's going to... It looks like he's level 20 on the black belt. If he's going to pop out, drop another house, and try this again, or if he's going to make the drop and get his Masa. That's what he's going to do. Okay. So, there's your pro ring. Your feels bad ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of those things like
And
I. Go ahead.
It's interesting. He's got the silver bracelet equipped on the black belt at level 20. He'd probably be doing a little bit more, doing himself a little bit more of a favor if he unequipped that.
Yeah, I think silver. Yeah, he's just past the threshold where that silver's no longer any good to him.
Yeah, and he could have. So yeah, he could unequip that silver, put it on his damned thief if he wanted to do that. But he should be able to get out of this gargoyle fight. I don't think we saw anything too nasty with these guys.
Yeah, there are just a lot of them, and they punch a bunch.
And fighters outside of Quad X range is sort of surprising.
I've seen it a few times. And with this scaling, I'm not that surprised. The real problem is their stinking MDef is just being a problem.
And Life Reboot has Masa in hand. He's going to run the gauntlet and try to get out of here.
Well, he does have life too.
Yes. So he doesn't have any more charges of it though.
Yeah, but that's still enough to... He's got a Maza in hand now.
But no more life twos, and the Wraiths are unrunnable, so that doesn't feel great. And I'm curious at the Thief being up. I guess he's keeping him up for just added run chance, and not as essentially an evasion stack on his party. And he's going to run as fast as he can. And first turn run from that lone sorcerer. So close. And spells at pulls carry. And
well, we've already seen that this carry's got a few tricks up her sleeve.
And everyone in Life Reboot's house just heard him exhale as he escapes the ice cave, levels and gear in hand.
Yeah. Wait, no, this Carrie doesn't have any tricks up her sleeve. I'm thinking of a Carrie I fought earlier today.
Yeah, Carrie was one fade and done, I think, for Salty Fry.
Look, I've been doing mad science over here, okay? Sometimes you forget that people are running sane things.
What are you working on?
Okay, so while everyone's kind of retracing each other's footsteps a little bit, and Salty Fry is the only one kind of pushing new ground, I've been experimenting with a little hack that takes away equipment restrictions. And just
so you mean my white wizard can now equip ice armor?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It surprisingly doesn't completely murder strategy. It just kind of creates a completely different universe of strategy, and I really, really need other people to give it a try so I can find out if I'm crazy or not.
I would try that. That sounds pretty neat. There
are patch files on the Discord.
I don't know how to do all that. So you lost me at having to do stuff. So Salty Fry... No, I'm kidding. But that's the thing about this wonderful community that we're part of. If there is something that we're talking about that you're not familiar with, there are hundreds of people on the Discord, several of whom would be more than happy to help you learn the game, learn how to do all the different stuff, change your sprites around, do all the neat fun stuff that you see a lot of our runners doing, none of whom are doing that today. But there's a lot of neat little things you can do with the game, and there's a lot of friendly faces on the Discord that'll help you do that. Speaking of stuff coming up, random fun stuff, on February 18th, we have a special thing.
I think we have actually two special things happening, yeah.
Well, let's talk about the one that involves our wonderful tracker first.
Yeah, there is a... what's the phrase I'm looking for here? There's a little Twitch channel I think folks might have heard of. I think it's, Games Done Quick? Is that right?
Mm-hmm. That's one of them.
Yeah, they put on some sort of an event every once in a while. I think it's some sort of a big deal.
Just enough to get you a fix.
Yeah. So Games Done Quick, y'all might know, has a hot fix that they like to do. And on February 18th, Final Fantasy I Randomizer is going to be on random number generation. I believe it's the first Final Fantasy any randomizer to make it onto that show.
Yeah,
and
it's real exciting.
Yeah, our lovely tracker Danny is one of the runners who's going to be featured on then. I believe Sho Fukumachi's the other one.
Absolutely.
And commentary is going to involve Leggy Starscream, the excellent Dr. Starscream, and it is going to be a thing. But what's extra exciting is immediately after that, here on Speed Gaming, I believe,
at Tuesday night, I think at 10 o'clock? 9:30, something like that?
Yeah, basically, yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood. We're actually moving it about a half hour back, so 9:30, yeah. We are going to be having the inaugural Battle Royale for the Iron Golem heavyweight, or heavy metalweight championship belt, which is something our community member Gouda has been putting together, and we're not entirely sure how it's going to work. All we know is that it's going to be hype, and we're going to be making wrestling jokes forever.
Yeah, there's a whole system. So the first race will be just kind of open entry. Anybody want to come in and try to win that belt will race in that. The winner of that race is the inaugural belt holder, and then every week the people can challenge that belt holder, and as time goes on, people will get rankings as like you would in boxing or wrestling, and as you gain rankings, you can call the belt holder out, the champion, and you can take them on. You can have a shot at the title to get that belt. And so we only have the plans right now for the belt match for the Iron Goal heavy metal belt, but there should be more coming. There's talks about the hardcore champion, someone like Will Bloodworth, taking on a solo thief, those sorts of strats and plays. And I want to see a tag team, sort of like a co-op belt. Be really neat.
So I'm not thinking that Salty's found too terribly much in here, like a few pieces and a ribbon.
Well, that's what's up.
But still, he has filled in quite a bit of his
Yeah, he needs one shard, and he's Topher bound. So Salty Fry, I know we weren't really paying a whole lot of attention because he was just plugging along, wasn't really seeing a whole lot. But in go mode, at 50 minutes 37 seconds, he's got his pieces. He just needs levels and a level of comfort to get into Temple of Fiends and take care of this. So I'm real nervous about spring tournament now.
Oh, look, you should have been nervous if you saw that Salty Fry was entered. I'm not kidding. He has been around for a very long time, and he knows this randomizer pretty well.
Oh, I know, and I'm seeing it firsthand. I'm being reminded. I know that I jokingly say that I'm nervous, but with the spring tournament coming up around the corner, I'm just looking to join, have some fun, make some new friends. That's what happened last year when I was introduced to this community, and I think that's what anybody can do. So,
and speaking of things that anyone can do, hi everyone from Speed Gaming 6, and welcome to the kind of, I would say, late mid-game of this race?
Yeah, we got a...
Yeah. So, yeah, I was going to say, so in case you're wondering what's going on, sorry, I'll take this one, Caleb.
Knock yourself out, Woke.
Alright, you are looking at Final Fantasy I Randomizer, a randomizer for the classic RPG for Final Fantasy I. This, in particular, is a treasure hunt race. This treasure hunt race involves specifically looking for 25 unique items that have replaced a bunch of low-value items. These 25 items will give you access to the final dungeon. You don't have to kill the fiends, you don't have to light the orbs. You don't have to do anything that the game expects you to do. All you have to do is open boxes until you have enough of the boxes open in order to be able to actually go into the final dungeon with the pieces I mentioned before. Everyone is running around like a chick with their head cut off because they need levels and they need to find these pieces so that they can fight their way through the final dungeon, which is guaranteed to be a doozy because we have set it up in such a way that it's going to hurt a lot to get through some of these monsters. And fortunately, though, we have given the runners plenty of experience points with which to get those levels that they need in order to beat their way through Temple of Fiends Revisited. And so with that being said, you are at the part where everyone's trying to get the power that they need in order to actually muscle their way through the Temple of Fiends. So, welcome everyone. Glad you're here.
I didn't know you sold micro machines in your spare time. Well, breathe.
Hey, I've got
I'm
to
doing-
practice for if I get stuck doing solo comms in the spring tournament.
I did not know I was doing commentary with John Machida. Awesome. So,
But yeah, so that pretty much catches you up on where we are. So yeah, glad y'all are here.
amazing. So, Salty Fry just going to kill Tiamat just because it's quicker to go out the dungeon this way than go out the front door.
Well, yeah, he doesn't have exit, I don't think so. Like, he could either warp through like 8 floors, which I don't even think he has enough charges to do that, or he can just go kill Tiamat and be done with it.
Yeah, he's got 1 Bane, and we're gonna go old school strats here and just buff up that Masa and get to swing at 2 hits, 40 damage. Tia, I don't even think Run had any armor on because Tia 1 hits hard, but usually doesn't hit that hard. But if you're not wearing any armor, it doesn't matter really. So here we go. Fasted Tempered, 4 hits, 310 damage. Tia punches the tank, takes 3 hits, 54 damage. So that's the value of Absorb on a melee class. And we're just going to keep feeding those Tempers into Tank, and Tank's going to get punched again for 62. Another Temper, here comes the swing. 2 hits, 451, and down goes Tiamat. So Salty Fry, with just the coup de grace to kill Tiamat on his way to Temple of Fiends Revisited, and has more than enough. I think he's actually at like 30 pieces now, so he's 5 over the required amount. I like to think of the Shard Hunt for the folks that come in from the Link to the Past or the Zelda 1 randomizer, and they have like the Triforce hunts.
Oh yeah, no, this is 100% stolen from Triforce Hunt.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even pretend.
Yeah.
But yeah, MG Weirdo pointing out in chat that Salty's got level 27, at least on that fighter. He's fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
He's not going to have any trouble barnstorming Topher, knock on wood.
Yep. And he never went to Waterfall, so he never got to Tail, so he will not get promoted and won't have life 2 on his Knight, but may not need it. One
Nah,
life.
he'll live.
I figure he's got the Opal Bracelet on the Red Mage. Should be fine. And going to go back to Thief in the front, which will help against some ambushes. As Dangwu is cleaning up Ordeals, looking for the rest of his pieces. Belzap is putting the finishing touches on his Skyrun, will also likely get his pieces, and Life Reboot reduced down again to a 2-man party with that black belt just unfortunately unable to stay upright.
Well, it's one of those things, we knew that going in that these Medusas had some really mean tricks.
Sorry about that, that's the dog. I don't know if the mic picked that up or not.
No, it absolutely picked it up. It sounded like you were shutting a microwave door.
Good job, buddy. We're all proud of you. He just got really excited. Alright, so we're already through the blast door and we're down running through the basement of the Temple of Fiends.
You know, it's one of those things about the spike tiles that I think the part that amuses me the most is when you get to Phantom and it's something like, oh, it's just wolves.
Yeah, or imps. Like, oh, I think I did it. I ran a seed the other day where it was a Grimp, but Grimps had Blizzard. So I was like, ha ha ha. Oh, right, they forgot. I hadn't seen these things in an hour or so.
Yeah, because that's the thing, is one of the flags we have on is B-side and random B-side encounters on the spike tiles. And the rapid fire summary before we get to Lich 2 is basically all encounters are essentially like records. They have an A-side and a B-side. B-sides are generally tougher than their equivalent A-sides. However, that includes A-sides from the beginning of the game. So sometimes you just get a spike tile that's just like, hi, I'm like 2 imps. And then you're like, oh, you poor baby. It's a shame that you're unrunnable. Why? Because you're about to die. And then you kill them, and then you move on to whatever they were guarding.
Speaking of things that are about to die, we're looking at Salty Fry taking on Lich 2 and just got spanked for 10 hits, 1033 from a fasted tank with a Masa. So the Panzer, Paladin, whatever tank you want to call Salty Fry is just the M1A1 Abrams is just rolling through the earth floor and already about to take on Carrie. But
yeah, But
we got a firewall here.
well, I would remind you also that we got the sea snakes still on the table.
Mhm.
And we know, well, we can look over on Life Reboot's side and see exactly.
And be reminded.
Yeah, like I have a feeling that water floor may be a little bit testing.
Yeah. But we're going to get through this firewall. We're going to hack the mainframe and get to carry. Black Shirt doing work, 206 damage. It's pretty good.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, CC, is if they're wasting time, they're also wasting resources. And that's the part that I think that I'm more concerned about.
And
also, they apparently were at least able to punch Life's black belt to death.
Nuclear. Carry is radioactive, but everyone is still standing. And the fasted Masa 8 hits, 800 damage. The Abrams is rolling through into the water floor. We're going to see how much those sea snakes bind up the treads on this tank. Yeah, I don't think they're going to...
Well, it's one of those things, if you can't get away right away, they're going to slow things up, because you can't just sweep them aside.
Yeah. Well, let's see what Salty Fry does here. So far, so good. Running clean. Running clean, running smooth. He's hit a good spot on the encounter table. Holy crap, is that a hero run. What were you talking about, sea snakes?
It doesn't count if you dodge them.
But you got to think, if he came in here on a hard reset, no one else is going to see him. But so, Spell Zap, 59 minutes, 33 seconds is into our second on-stream runner to Topher as Salty Fry prepares for Kraken 2. We're going to fast up. Turn order doesn't go quite our way this time. We got 4 hits, 234, 3 hits, 104. So we're... Ice 2 comes out. That's a little bad. Rune Sword hitting 3 hits was at 9 damage. We're going to swing, temper, swing. And we're swinging. 8 hits, 8 damage. Temper comes out. This tank should probably take out Kraken with this next hit. But not if you get zapped all the way down to 1. So, quick adjustment here. What do you do, Salty Fry? We're just going to swing away. Hold A and pray. 3 hits, 3 damage. Lightning 2, 27. Kraken 2 goes on to chip damage. We're going to fast now. We're going to switch the melee efforts to life. And we're going to temper. And we temper a corpse. So Inferno rolls in with 30. Oh, here comes. Now we've tempered the red mage. Punch comes out and no evasion comes out. So Spell Zap now in the lead in Topher on the dealing with 7 Gurmedusas. So Salty Fry shaken a little bit by that Kraken after that big punch. So
yeah.
He's got the information on the K2 Gatekeeper.
But in the meantime, hi everyone from Speed Gaming 3. Glad y'all could join us. We are basically at the end game of a weekly race for the Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer. Speed Gaming 6 already got the rapid fire spiel, but Caleb, do you want to kind of give them the quick rundown while Spell Zap kind of gets down to the parts that actually are a threat?
I kind of want to see if you could do it again, Wout. I was really impressed last time.
All right. Deep breath. All right, so what you're watching, the Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer, and in this particular case, we are doing what is called a treasure hunt. Essentially, we are looking for 25 pieces in order to gain access to the final dungeon. Normally, we'd be finding the 4 fiends and lighting their orbs in order to gain access to that dungeon, but in this case, we are in fact just going to be going for these shards. At this point, most of the runners have found the 25 pieces that they need in order to actually get in, or are about to find them. The main thing they're looking for right now is to have the levels and equipment necessary to get through the final dungeon so that they can actually fight the final boss. Now, normally, this is a problem when you get down to the lower levels, because of the way that we have scaled the bosses in this particular instance in terms of stat lines means that they generally are going to hit hard, have a lot of health, and usually have some very nasty tricks with which to wipe out the party. We've already seen that Salty Fry has taken a pretty nasty tumble against Kraken 2, which is generally considered to be one of the first major gatekeepers in this game. And Spell Zap is about to face off against Carry 2, the second fiend, and will be getting down to the water floor where Kraken 2 resides. He might have better luck than Salty Fry, but the big thing is we know that Kraken 2 is packing an instant death spell called Zap, and we've only seen one ribbon, I believe, in this entire seed, which is going to cause some issues in terms of making sure that we actually have the ability to it's a time element, which is Zap. And so that basically catches you up to the tension of the moment. Spellzap has a minor lead on Salty Fry, but if Kraken jams him up, Salty Fry is going to probably get ahead to Tiamat 2 by virtue of having knowledge of what Kraken 2 can do. Also, hello everyone from Speed Gaming 2. You just got here after I finished the recap, dang it. But we're glad to have you anyway.
You have to do it again for them. Just kidding. I'll take it this time.
I know you're just kidding. I'm not doing it a third time. I have to breathe.
Welcome, folks, from Speed Gaming 2. We got a Final Fantasy randomizer race going here. These are just some fun flags that one of our administrators, Lord Fizzlebeef, threw together. A lot of fun stuff's been going on. Woat's been talking a lot. It's been a lot of fun. We're in the end game. Some stuff has happened, and Salty Fry is on his second Topher dive. Spellzap's in the middle of his first. Life Reboot's still collecting some pieces that he needs to get into Topher, and Dangwoo also just cleaning up the final few pieces that he needs.
Yeah, so it is looking like, incidentally, that hero run is off of a hard reset.
Which is good news.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what lies in wait at the after Kraken in the encounter table, but
so full-on respect from Spellzap. Gets some evasion up, gets a fast off on Zoe, who's swinging the Masa. So we got White Samurai strats going out, and we're going to continue to ruse, and we're going to continue to temper Zoe, so she will get evasion capped. With this round, I believe that's 2 white shirts, 2 ruses. That'll do it for Zoe being capped at evasion, so no melee will affect her. Ash will continue to temper. 5 hits, 514. Zoe's already put in work on Kraken. We haven't seen the zap yet, but we know that it's coming. It's in the chamber. 6 hits, 547. Spell zap is through. Salty Fry is going to heal up, take a few steps, and take his carry to Kraken 2 fight again as Spell Zap pulls slightly ahead. And fully, just that hero run continues and gets into the Tiamat fight. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to ruse, we're going to white shirt, we're going to fast, we're going to temper. So, here we go. Good turn order here. Everyone goes before Tia. That's the kind of turn order you want to see. Comes out, punches Danny down. But we're going to continue the same strategies. Temper, lock, white shirt, ruse. So Zoe now 1 stack away from being evade capped. And Zoe continued. Ooh, and there's a nuke. So we're going to have to cure 3. Get some of that HP back up. We can survive punches, but we can't survive magic like that. So we're going to continue laying into the heals. Lightning 2 is not as scary. And we're just going to fight. So fire 3, 42 damage. Zoe comes out swinging. 6 hits, 543. We're going to do it again. Swirl, 188. Put Zoe down on a knee. We're going to hope for turn order here. We get a miss from Tiamat. Swing from Zoe. 368. And luckily, Zoe knows a little spell called Life 2 that's going to pick her whole party back up and make that Topher dive. But what had just happened off stream, we have our first off-stream winner of this race. The runner-up in the recent Duckling Derby, Burt Reynolds, finishes in first place with 1 hour and 5 minutes, 54 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it's very likely we're going to see third place before 1 hour 10.
So if you're out there watching this, having never played the randomizer, Burt Reynolds has joined this community within the past 4 or 5 months. And he just beat, in the large group race, Spellzap, Salty Fry, Dangwoo, Life Reboot. We got folks off stream. We got Ailmark and Shofukamachi, Rojo. We got all kinds of. We got new person Duster W in here running. Edgeworth was in the race, but Edgeworth forfeited out early on. Must have got hung up in the ice cave. So Burt coming in, showing you that this game is approachable. It's pretty easy to learn. All you got to do is just commit a little bit of time, and you can be like Burt Reynolds. And who doesn't want to be like Burt Reynolds? So,
I mean, it is technically approachable. And oh god, did the sorcerers on Airfloor do him dirty?
Oh no. So Salty Fry, had Salty Fry not wiped to Kraken 2, he may have finished a few minutes ahead of Burt Reynolds, but That's tough. That's tough to take a wipe in Topher twice like that, and after the Fiends. But Dangwu went fishing for a war mech and found it, because that's the kind of runner Dangwu is. He's the people's champion here, finding the war mech. As Spellzap takes on Chaos, looks like he's kind of doing the same strategy he was employing before with the white shirts, the ruses, the tempers, the fasts, and he's doing drink strats, because I guess Danny's out of healing spells. Zoe's swinging 5 hits, 878. Dan the Ninja's not doing much, so he's just going to go back to waiting. We're going to go back to drinking strats with Danny, drinking strats with Ash, and we're swinging. And here come the potions. So Chaos doesn't really have a whole lot of absorb. 5 hits, 678 from the white mage. Doing work. Danny gets punched out, takes a nap. As 6 hits, 557 comes out. So we're over vanilla levels of health right for that 2,000 threshold. Another swing comes in, 6 hits, 505. So 500 damage around. We'll get there eventually. Another swing, 5 hits, 494, and there it is. Spellzap, the official SRL time, 1 hour, 8 minutes, 51 seconds, finishes our second place.
Yeah, get those GGs out in chat for Spellzap. We will probably be dragging him in here shortly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's one of those things where...
I was going to ask if you'd catch your breath yet.
Oh yeah, no, it's one of those things. You're a little bit ahead of me, so I was just going to let you handle the play-by-play. Yeah, so Life now doing a lot of the exploration that our other runners did, just because he kind of got jammed up by that ice cave for so long.
Yeah.
But Dang meanwhile should be good to go on breaking into Temple of Fiends. But I think I hear a spell zap. GG.
Hey, thanks, Wout. GG.
GG Spellzap. GG.
Thanks, Caleb.
You're welcome. How did that feel? These are kind of interesting flags.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect. I really wanted to get money early, so I kind of went around looking for money to buy spells, and then...
You're playing too much Final Fantasy VI, man.
No, I just joke around. But I wanted to get some money early to buy some spells. Try to pick off the key if I could. That didn't exactly happen too early, but I did find it eventually. Had a little bit of hiccup with some mummies. I knew that there was the unrunnable shuffle thing, or unrunnable... you can ambush in. So I was like, okay, thief's pretty good here, so I'm gonna take the thief. But other than that, it was really just all about trying to find, because you have the airship early, you just need to get some levels or get something to get into those dungeons. And I feel like I did it quickly, but not necessarily as fast as I could have. But
yeah,
overall, I felt pretty good about the run.
Yeah.
All right, so
I beat you into Topher by about 4.5 minutes, and he took a wipe to Kraken 2 as you were walking in the door, basically.
yeah.
Like,
So yeah. Sorry to cut you off or bump in, but I was gonna say, Salty Spell. I'm trying to remember. Did you actually see what all the sorcerers were packing tonight?
I guess not, because they didn't look like they cast or did anything.
They had Stone Touch.
Ooh.
yeah.
Okay. No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, Salty, I think actually got through Tia 2 before you did. Basically, y'all were neck and neck charging down through...
Yeah, charging down towards Chaos.
Dang! He gets me every time with that.
What did he do?
He stops to talk to the door.
Oh.
And so it looks like he got jammed up and forgot the key, and then he runs through it, and it's every time. And I know he does it to mess with us. But nah. So yeah, Salty got through Tia 2 first. But then hit...
Salty's in here not on the hard reset this time, taking all kinds of encounters on the water floor, including damage poison waters.
I think he's trying to avoid hitting that sorcerer fight.
Yeah.
Because I think he took another. I think he's taken a wipe in a couple other places of the sorcerers too. But yeah, he hit that sorcerer pack right after Tia 2, and they stone touched him to death.
I have never seen someone clear the chest like that in the less than greater than room. Look at that life reboot. Show me new stuff every day. That's pretty cool. I like seeing new stuff. So, and you didn't see the zap on Kraken either, did you?
No, but I think I had already had my defenses up, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So I should have been okay. Tiamat 2 was... Ooh, that was close. I wish I'd found Cure 4. I probably could have looked a little bit harder, but...
Yeah, so I'm thinking back to Sonny's initial dive, and for Lich and Carry, he got pretty good turn order, but getting the fast off on the fighter before the swing with the Masa, but with Kraken it didn't happen, and I wonder if he had gotten that turn order, if that would have been a different fight.
Yeah, Burt Reynolds, meanwhile, is in chat wondering what levels you'd hit by the end spell zap.
It was about 32-ish or so on the Thief and White Mage.
Yeah, we did notice that you pulled out the two-man strats a little bit with the Thief and White Mage, getting prepped for spring tournament. I take it.
That's right. We're Thief White Mage all the way.
God, the meta's gotten so weird over the years.
I thought you weren't an old hand at this game, Wout.
No, you keep calling me that.
But
that doesn't actually make it true.
If I say it enough, it does. The meta.
Look. Y'all just wait until I convince someone to put in the equipment restriction removal patch in alpha. Then the meta is going to evolve.
Dude, like I said, I wasn't even kidding. I think that would be awesome. That means opening boxes is fun for everyone except the black belt.
It's even fun for the black belt. You hand a black belt a katana and it's hilarious.
Oh, really? Does he keep the same number of hits?
Well, no, but the thing is black belts still get really decent growth.
What makes the same growth as a fighter?
Yeah, what makes them disgusting is when you take their weapon off, they get extra bonuses on top of that. But even without that, they're still pretty freaking hilarious. But yeah, that's a discussion we can have after the race, because I think Dang is on water floor and Salty is right.
Yeah, he's coming up on the earth floor.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. Yeah, Dang also coming on that power cycle.
Yeah. That run through the water floor was huge to avoid those thick sea snakes.
There were a lot of things in this sea that actually rolled pretty large as far as health went.
Yeah, we saw the fighters that were outside of Quad X. What were some of the other ones you encountered?
Rock golems. What was the other stuff? There was rock golems. It felt like there were a few other ones.
I think the gas teas were pretty.
Gas teas were decent. Those sea snakes, though, I had to reset out to get more charges to even take them down.
All right, so Woke tonight just gets punched out by Kraken, and we're gonna have to adjust strategies here and figure out what we're doing, Dangwoo. What are you gonna do, Dangwoo?
I mean, it's Dangwoo. He's ultimately going to wind up being down to one character. He's going to cast Rub, and he's going to manage to kill Kraken on that one rub.
Well, he's got the katana swinging. App's gonna get the white shirts up and keep building that evade. I don't know if App has the ribbon. I would assume it does because of the life 2 charges.
Well, if he fires off another, I didn't see if there was. I think I saw a ribbon in there.
Okay, so there's the zap, and he survives it. And what do you do, Dang?
Oh no, he doesn't have a ribbon.
Ooh, okay, so he got Boom, boom, ba boom. Got crit. Welcome to the Kraken 2 party, Dangwoo. You and Salty Fry are handing out pamphlets.
So yeah, this is why Kraken 2 is the eternal gatekeeper.
But what if I told you Edgeworth has re-entered the game and is undone? So Edgeworth must be secretly working his way back through the back end of Topher.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I have to assume that Edgeworth rage quit and then decided to unrage quit.
Yeah, that's what Final Fantasy Randomizer can do. It's not always this.
Thunderclawed in chat giving us the skinny. Apparently, Edge has been continuing to play the seed after forfeiting, and has taken a wipe to Stone Touch Sorcerers before Chaos.
Ooh. Yeah, ooh. Man.
Oh! Lobsters had thunder! I didn't even catch that!
So, the power cycle really is your best bet here. Maybe.
Okay. Who was right about water floor being horrible?
Well,
Who was right? Come on.
well,
come on.
Only if you didn't do the hard reset.
Yes, but
But meanwhile, Ale Markin finished in third place with an official SRL time of 1:18:40. You are right, Woe.
Thank you. That's all I want.
I know. I just wanted to delay the gratification of giving it to you. So,
see, it's one of those things where
that Inferno roll, max Inferno roll, I think on the Black Mage for 300 is burnt nuke to a crisp.
Okay, see, the nice thing about being slightly behind you is you say things, and then I get to turn around and it's just like, oh, okay.
You could also just refresh your browser, man. Come on.
Yeah, but I kind of like having this little bit of lag time, because if you miss something, then I can kind of come up behind and be like, no, yeah, that is what happened.
Nice. So we're on Tier 2. We're going to fast, we're going to temper, and we're going to swing with both the ninja and the tank. Power Bonk and Swirl rolls in, and does some work, but everybody's still standing, so we can still do some stuff. We can still swing, temper. Tank swings before the temper, 10 hits 783. Bane comes in, poison smokes the tank. Run swings, 3 hits 3 damage. We're tempering the sleeping tank. And now we're going to switch to swinging with life. The red mage, we're going to get the fast up. We're going to swing with that sun sword, 6 hits 90 damage. And we're through. So, we're going to life 2 up.
And then we have to get through this final gauntlet, the 2 sorcerer encounters.
I'm surprised he didn't bring back... Oh, we got errors. And off stream, we got Sho Fukamache finishing in 4th place with official time of 1 hour, 21 minutes, 29 seconds.
Ah, it's an air fight. Okay.
So he did manipulate the encounter table there. So, veteran move from Salty Fry, dude. Shuffle them sorcerers out of the table.
Yeah, and that is one advantage of veteran experience, is understanding the encounter tables and kind of working out, okay, where do I need to land to not deal with this problem?
Mm-hmm. And Life Reboot is hunting for a war mech. Looking for that patrolling mech friend, as Dangwoo just blows up Kraken. The huge swing for over 1,000 damage. Nothing here. You gotta love Dangwoo. I hope those Stone Touch Sorcerers don't show up for him. But I think he's on a different encounter table too, because he didn't take the pre-Tia fight that we saw in the hard reset.
I mean, I think he also has pretty better levels than Salty's had.
Mm-hmm.
So he also has a much better chance of actually saving against that Stone Touch.
Alright, so Salty Fry taking on Chaos. We're going to wall up, and we're going to continue buffing up tank and tempering. Here comes a swing. 7 hits 996. We saw Chaos has about 2,500 to 3,000 HP. Chaos can barely even punch out Nuke. 4 hits, 524. We're waiting with the Red Mage. We're tempering still the tank. Temper comes off. Tank swinging 9 hits, 1757. So Chaos about to get blown up by this M1A1 Abram. Is 1171. Salty Fry has his vengeance on this Temple of Fiends Revisited with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 22 minutes, 56 seconds. And right behind him, Edgeworth with a time of 1:23:35. So get those GGs for Salty Fry and Edge.
Yeah, no, that was... And Edgeworth's new comment, RPG randomizers are not suitable for racing. But I believe that was a Salty Fry joining us, is that right?
Hello.
Hey,
GG,
Salty!
Salty?
How's it going?
Just fine. You have our sympathies.
Yeah, that could have gone well. It was going really good up until I got to Tope.
Yeah, you were trucking. You were, I don't know what time Burt Reynolds entered Temple of Fiends, but you were ahead of Spellzap, the next person behind you, by a solid 4 minutes. So, but unfortunately, the Kraken 2.
The worst one was that second death there, where I ended up getting almost all the way to Chaos, and then I got those sorcerers. I was shocked that it took so long for them to actually turn me to stone. I mean, every attack, like they're hitting 4 hits. I'm like, this is going to be the hit, this is going to be the hit, this is going to be the hit. And then they kept not turning me to stone. So I kept thinking, no, maybe I just might have a chance. But no, sure enough, they still.
Yeah, that's randomizer's going to randomize.
Hey, if we've learned anything in the Discord in recent months, it's been or in recent days, it's been, sometimes the dice rolls can go a very long time with improbable things.
And Dangwu just slammed into Chaos with 1,618 damage from the Masa, so he's using a combination of lock and temper strats here, and I'm pretty sure this swing right here is going to be the one that does it. Yeah, we're going to get a temper off ahead of it. Big swing here, 10 hits, 1534. Down goes Chaos for Dangwu. Get those GGs out there for Dangwu. Finishing with 1 hour, 24 minutes, 52 seconds. Life Reboot, still looking for that Warmech. He just wants a hug, man.
I mean, you do what you gotta do, but yeah, Dang should almost certainly be coming up here in a minute. But yeah, Salty, oh, wait, no. I think he might already... No, wait, no, that's... Never mind.
That spells out.
That spells out. I get confused because I see a name that it's just like, wait, whose name is that? And it's like, oh right, that spells out. Anyway, Dang is at least in the Discord. He'll be joining us shortly. But, alright. So Salty...
Yeah, go ahead.
So, what did you think of the seed overall, aside from Temple of Fiends? I think we have a pretty good idea of how you feel about that.
Well, I've been wondering, like, I was thinking maybe I should have gone to get that tail over that was probably in Waterfall, I'm assuming, at this point in time.
It was.
That would have given me life 2 on my fighter, which would have maybe saved me on 1 or 2 of those attempts in Topher, but might have cost me a little more time. And also, I was wondering, like, what my best way to get out of Sky Castle was once I got my last little shard there. And ultimately, I decided to go kill Tiamat, but maybe I could have used a few charges of Warp and then walked out. I don't know which one would have been the best way.
I think, like, as an from the armchair runner perspective, I think you made the right call just going up to Tia. Like, that's not nearly as many steps as Warp would have forced you to take, unless you just had a stupid number of charges.
I think I had 3 charges left at that point in time, so I would have been able to get about halfway back down and then have to walk back out. But yeah. I mean, the bridge was quite a few fights there, so that took a little while, but yeah.
Yeah, you would have gotten to those fights trying to walk it out.
Other than that, it felt like everything went pretty well. Like, I got some levels early on there, hitting, what did I get? I think it was the Frost Dragons over at where Astos is. That worked pretty well, so that got me a few levels, and I was able just to power through stuff at that point in time. And then it felt like I was just finding shard after shard. I powered my way through Volcano, no problem. Like, it really felt like I was kind of cruising along for the first little while there. Everything felt like it was going really good. Once I started, well, the first issue was just figuring out where I was going to get some levels, really. Like, at first, you got all those chests, and there's all kinds of stuff to check, but you're sitting there at, like, level 4. It's like, well, it's kind of tough to kill anything at this point in time. Like, what's your best bet, right? And luckily, I had some fire charges and the mage staff, so I think that made those Frost Dragons all right.
Yeah. Also, hi, Dang. GG.
Hi, everybody. Hey, Woat. Thanks a
Dang.
lot for not taking that Kraken shot to the face. Way to just
Well,
go
okay.
down.
See, here's the problem, Dang. You named a fighter Woat when you had a red mage in the party.
Look, you had one job, and that was to take a hit, and you decided to take like 3 or 4 crits from Kraken and get one shot. Like, one job, honestly.
Yeah,
Woat.
yeah. I'm not. Look,
I
you
lost
took
3
a
positions because of you. I lost 3 positions because of you.
You took a pretender Woat. You got what you deserve. Anyway,
Like taking a fighter or naming a Will WBW or Will
but yeah.
Bloodworth.
So before we deal with Dang and his inability to take the right party members, Salty, on that last dive into Topher, did you intentionally manipulate your encounters to not see those sorcerer fights, or it just happened to work out that way?
Well, I wasn't 100% sure that I wasn't going to see them. I knew, like, if I hard reset going in there, that's what was going to get me those 2 packs of them right at the very end there. So I didn't hard reset basically after I saw that because I did not want to see those again. Then ultimately the next time that led me to having a disaster on the water floor instead when I found out that the waters had poison and something else had thunder, I think, and basically
So
destroyed my
Lobsters.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, so that kind of backfired in that situation. But then I just didn't hard reset again and worked out better the next time.
Yeah. Yeah, so Dang. Here's the question that's burning on everyone's mind.
Okay.
After your false Woat fell, why didn't you just go to Dang strats on Kraken 2?
What? Casting Brack and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Dang. Why didn't you lean into it?
I mean, Well, I was hoping that Actually, I think my thief almost actually killed Kraken because apparently she didn't have much health. But
The Life Reboot just found a second ribbon.
You know
free
what?
chest in Sharknado.
I keep telling people this. I just kind of play what happens, and when the Woat boat died, I kind of got a little sidetracked. You know, I was a little mourning my loss, and I decided to use my thief that only had like 100 HP left. And then he died, and then I cried.
And then you still had a red mage with plenty of shots of rub.
Yeah, but I casted 5 Invis 2s. I was like, okay, I'll be fine. And then she crits again. I'm like, I don't like you.
Yeah, Spellzap unfortunately having to duck out, but we are very glad to have had Spellzap on the broadcast.
Rub is effective when dealing with squid or octopus in a culinary perspective. You really want to massage those tentacles to make them nice and tender for preparation, otherwise they'll be very chewy. So it's kind of a shame you didn't try to rub Kraken.
For more cooking tips from Caleb, please join our community Discord. We basically just let him run amok on the off-topic food channel.
As you should. No, I love seeing other people's food. I like food. It's important. Without it, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I mean, without none of us would really be here. So,
Yeah,
get your
speaking
teams out there for food.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of food, hey, Dang, Salty, I am currently, like, getting yelled at by my stomach something fierce, so would either one of you like to take over this last stretch with Life Reboot?
Take over?
Like, for me.
He
So
wants,
I
he
can,
wants to leave. I've scared him out of the comms booth.
well,
he
no,
does
it's one of those things, like, I am suddenly feeling a bit dizzy.
I made him
And-
so hungry.
Yeah, well, no, like, I've
Speaking
kind of been
of
getting hungry for a
calamari.
while.
We're gonna throw some tempers. Kraken's gonna do Kraken things on Dan, and there's a big swing or big punch from Life, or I think it was close to 1,000 damage. So that's pretty awesome.
So, I just want to go over for everybody there that happened to witness the one shot by Kraken. 8 hits for 642 damage. My knight had 640 damage.
Beautiful. But yeah, so yeah,
Sure, I could. Yeah, why not?
all right, awesome. Then I'm gonna go ahead and duck on out of here. Thanks everyone for watching. You're all beautiful. And if anyone actually stuck around from any of those raids, then you're extra beautiful. But those of you who weren't, you're still beautiful. It's like how, some dogs are 11 out of 10 and then other dogs are 12 out of 10. At the end of the day, you're all still good boys and girls and miscellaneous. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and head on out. So y'all enjoy the rest of this broadcast. I'm sure it's going to be hilarious watching Life Reboot One Punch Man through Topher.
Yeah. So thanks for stopping by, Wout, and doing comms with me. So I do want to remind folks that to hop on over to the Discord if you're not there. We got the spring tournament coming out here. Gonna get started probably in about 5 weeks or so. We've got signups open, and we've got a pretty good amount of signups, almost as many as we had last year. So we're gonna have probably a record number of participants joining. So you should be a part of that. If you haven't joined the Discord or played this yet, it's not too late. I joined the Discord just in time for Spring Tournament 2019, and haven't looked back. It's been a fun year. Like I said, Burt Reynolds, the winner of this race, he joined the community not even 4 or 5 months ago, and he's already kind of crushing the best of them. So we got Spring Tournament coming up here in March. We got a couple fun events next week happening on February 18th. We have the GDQ Hot Fix on Random Number Generation. We're going to have Danny 383, our glorious tracker, taking on Sho Fukamachi, who was in this race tonight, and they're going to be racing the Spring Tournament Chaos Flags. So they're going to be dealing with a lot of loose items, no free canal, trying to get through that seed and just have a good time. Leggy Starscream's going to be doing commentary, I believe, with Sonny Wrath 11, and Skyblizz will be hosting it from GDQ. And then that night, we're going to have our first inaugural Iron Goal Heavy Metal Championship bout, where whoever wins that race will be the first belt holder champion, and that's going to be a whole different thing. It's going to be a whole different thing. So Gouda 632, one of our leaders on the server, he's going to be there organizing that event, and it's should be a lot of fun. There's always fun and new stuff coming, and Life Reboot's going to... Looks like he's coming in here not on a hard reset, because I don't think anybody saw this. I don't think we saw the Saurius with Brack.
No. That is definitely not on the hard reset. And I'm glad I didn't, because Brack is bad.
Sorry, not Soria. And we got Glance on one of the golems, so everything in this Topher wants to turn you to stone or kill you outright. So,
if you did hard reset, it wasn't that bad at the very start until you got to the air floor.
Yeah. So
what was on the air floor?
The Stone
the
Touch
sorcerers. And you got them right after Tiamat, 2 packs right in a row.
Mm-hmm. And it's what took out Salty Fry in a dive. It's also what took out Edgeworth on one of his dives that Thundercloud informed us about. So it looks like Life Reboot's taking a lot of encounters here, so he should be good for his hero run, probably through fire or seafloor, so he might not see anything in the lower levels of this dungeon. Life's going to punch down Lich pretty easily, and we're just going to pick him back up, keep him in that back row for moral support, and see how this fire floor treats us, see if we run into another Glance or Brack or Bane or something. But looks like it's just going to be a red giant Agama and we're going to get away. So Life Reboot continuing to just sprint through this Topher, making pretty good time despite all the encounters that he caught on the earth floor. Doesn't really seem to be having too much trouble with that black belt. And we're going to swing, and we're going to fast the red mage as Nuclear rolls in and microwaves Dan. And there's a big hit from the monk, 5 hits, 317. Fast comes off 1 round too late. We're going to swing, and we're going to fast the black belt. Black belt punches again, 4 hits, 356. Masa comes in, should take care of it, 6 hits, 564, and does so. And Life is 1 level away from that break point to get that 8th hit, where it just becomes lull damage. Because 8 hits, fasted, 16 hits, not much is going to survive that, especially with how hard those black belt punches hit for. And unfortunately, off stream, Rojo has forfeited with the comment, Yikes. I'm imagining he saw the mess that was this water and air floor combo. And Life Reboot getting the healthy run through the seafloor. Gonna rearrange, throw Dan up front, keep the black belt on the back, and we're gonna fight. Fast the black belt, I would imagine. Nope, we're gonna fast the red mage, and we're gonna power bonk on the black belt. You know, just in case your black belt doesn't quite hit enough. So I kind of like that strategy. Testing the absorb evade with the Masa swing. Ice 2 comes in. Not going to do a whole lot. We're going to swing. We're going to fast the black belt now, and we're going to town. So Kraken should fall here. Another swing, 8 hits, 367. Here comes Inferno. Low rolls everyone but the thief, and there it is, 12 hits, 992. Kraken has been prepared for his sushi roll. So that's all you gotta do. You just gotta pound it up and beat it up and just get it nice and tender. And octopus is real good. If you haven't had it, I would recommend, as long as you don't have some sort of allergy, I would not recommend it, because it would probably do bad things to you, which is what Kraken's really known for. So in a way, it's kind of ironic. So no run, no respect. We're just knowing. Gotta love when the prep that you do post Kraken 2 carries you through to Tia 2. And we're gonna switch the strategies up a little bit. We're gonna fast. The red mage is gonna fast himself, and the monk is going to get fasted by the black mage. And I would imagine now we're just gonna hold A and temper, and well, no, we're just gonna bonk. Okay. So 7 hits, 180 comes in for the Masa. We're gonna power bonk. We're gonna temper, and Bane comes in. And that's the beauty of finding those double ribbons and having pretty good levels. So here comes some tempers and punches. 12 hits, 616. 8 hits, 248. So Life Reboot not really having much trouble. We'll see if he finds those Stone Touch sorcerers. With bated breath, he gets through. Alright, so Dangwu, Salty Fry, you guys fought Chaos. Is there anything that Life Reboot should be concerned about with this Chaos fight?
Seemed pretty straightforward. He had a lot of HP, but I don't think he had anything other than melee, so it wasn't that bad. All the dangerous spells seems to be on other people. Zap and Bane, those were kind of the things I was scared of that got me, since I only had one ribbon.
Mm-hmm. It looks like he's keeping with the same strategy. Gonna temper. Red Mage is gonna temper fast. 7 hits, 34. That test swing isn't doing much, so we might want to double down on the black belt here. Start.
Chaos wasn't hitting that hard either, I remember.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to be. He only punched the black belt for only about 50 damage, and so it's just a matter of tempering up enough, and black belt's doing damage. Finally hit that break point. Chaos is just he's doing his best. He's trying. But he is not prepared for this fight with the Light Warriors, as they are just taking him to town. And I almost feel bad for Chaos at this point. He put all those defenses up in his temple, and Life Reboot gets through on his first dive down to Chaos, and Chaos just like, I wasn't ready. He's just kind of softly slapping back as Life comes in and shows him how to punch. 7 hits, 752. Down goes Chaos. GG's Life Reboot. We'll see if he wants to come in for an interview, talk about that ice dive that he spent his time in. Oh man. So Salty Fry, you've been away from the game for a while. How's it feel coming back?
It's still fun. Yeah, it still takes a little getting used to. I'd never done anything with Town Shuffle or any sort of entrance shuffle before, so the Town Shuffle isn't that hard to get used to, really. So it's just kind of getting readjusted to everything that's kind of new now. There's obviously been a lot of changes since I left.
Yeah,
just really getting used to everything more.
Yeah, the free airship definitely helps mitigate the challenge of Town Shuffle.
Yeah, for sure. Like the one race I did a couple weeks ago, I guess was my first Town Shuffle race ever, and I managed to win that just because it was a just terrible seed all around, and I kind of brute forced my way through it in the end. But yeah, it doesn't seem that bad, so it seems fairly straight.
So we have a lot of folks watching, probably never seen the Final Fantasy Randomizer. We got folks probably watching on YouTube. What would be your advice as one of the veteran runners, as we're waiting to see if Life Reboot wants to come here and talk about the seed? What would be sort of like your advice for the new players out there, just kind of watching it, waiting to join the community, thinking about it? What would you say to them?
Well, there's so much you can learn about this game. Like, there's so many little things just about how spells work, how the encounter table works. Like, there's so many little things you can learn. Like, learning the encounter table is a pretty good thing. Learning how you can manipulate it in certain ways. Like, I was lucky prior to ever playing the randomizer. I had done some low-level playthroughs of this game where I kind of learned how it all worked at that point in time. So I was pretty familiar with it at that point in time. It's like just knowing that you can kind of manipulate your way around the overworld without taking any encounters a lot of the time is definitely something to look into, I'd say.
And Dangwo, as someone who went 4-1 and ended up in the brackets last year in the spring tournament, how are you preparing for this year's spring tournament? What would you and how would you sort of sell the tournament and the game to these new folks? They're waiting to join. You have a lot of things to say. I know you do.
So anybody that wants to join. I wouldn't. I'm going to be honest with you. Don't expect to win, but expect to play, have fun, learn from people. Because even in this competitive setting, people will be more than willing to help you out to learn the game. But when you join into a spring tournament like this, it's going to be tough to win. So come, have fun, and you get to have fun with us. That's all that really matters. There's a reason why there's memes and stuff like that. That's what I do. I have fun in this game, and you got to find your niche things, like your light warrior comps and all that stuff, and just play the game to enjoy it. That's what it's all about.
And that's the other beautiful thing about the Discord is, like, not everybody there races competitively. Like, Wout, my commentary partner here, he's one of the probably the most vocal members of the casual community. He just likes to play the game to have fun with it, and likes to make kind of weird, challenging flag sets he refers to as the Woat specials. And there's a lot of different things you can do with it. You can play the weird, fun stuff like Will Bloodworth, where he does the solo thieves and just tries to take the really hard, challenging seeds that we've experienced in the different restreams or in the different tournaments, and he'll try to take those hard seeds that everybody threw themselves against or forfeited in, and try to run a solo thief through it, and he'll get it done. So there's all kinds of different ways to play the randomizer. So
I'd also say try not to get frustrated when you're playing this game in particular. It can get quite frustrating depending on the types of stuff that happens. Like, it's very, like, you're going to die a lot, so definitely save a lot and do your best to not get frustrated, because it's very easy.
yeah, I'm working on trying to get Life Reboot into the chat. So,
And it kind of goes what Salty was saying is Burt Reynolds, the man that won this, actually. He's kind of made a meme out of himself because of the way that Kraken always backlines his life casters and stuff like that, but he's always back in the next race. He's always racing and stuff like that. So when things go badly, you just got to be able to knock it off and say, RNG happens, it sucks. I might lose because of it, but oh well.
yeah. And speaking of RNG happening, we are joined by Life Reboot. GG's Life Reboot.
Thanks very much. How
Yeah,
about that Castle of Ordeals?
I was gonna ask you more about the ice cave. Like, you were the first on-stream runner that went there, so you saw a lot of the nastiness down there before anyone else. The rub mages, the glance mages, the stone touch sorcerers, but you persevered, and I
only
wanted
had
to
the level 23 times or so, but
yeah, I was gonna say I
was,
kind of like the strategy you took there.
it was too good of a EXP tile to pass up. With my black belt, I decided ice 3s are going to be great on that tile, and I'll just spend those and walk out with that. But I kept running into the bad luck, and without any pro rings or ribbons, it just destroyed me. I think I got stoned to death one time too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the icing on the cake was that pro ring sitting in the free chest right before you drop down to get the
Totally.
incentivized chest.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's his pro ring. It's right there. And then I did like the move that you made where You did your Chimera grind, and then before dropping down, you walked out, dropped the house, and then came back in. Might have lost a little bit of time, but it would have lost you just as much time, if not more, if you had taken a couple more steps on that floor and caught some more nastiness. So that was a heads up adjustment.
Trying to get out while I could.
So, Life Reboot, refresh my memory. How long have you been a member of this community?
It's difficult to say. Time passes so quickly as I get older. I think it's
lying.
Probably 3 months or so.
Yeah, I was gonna say it hasn't been too terribly long, and you're signed up for.
Yes, I signed up for the spring tournament. Looking forward to it.
That's exciting. I'm really I came in as a new player for the spring tournament, so I love seeing the new people come in like you and Burt Reynolds and Ragnarok, and now we got the real super pleb is in there signed up, just jumping in with both feet. I love to see it. So I'm excited. I want to see folks still sign up for the spring tournament, so I've just been talking about it a lot, so you guys don't mind me. I guess we'll pass the torch around. We'll do final thoughts. Salty Fry, what are your final thoughts for this seed, man?
Screw those sorcerers. Thanks a lot for the restream. Thanks for the tracking, and I'll see you guys later.
Thank you. Dangwu?
I can't wait for spring tournament. I don't know. You guys are awesome. Caleb, I miss you, buddy. Danny,
I'm right here, man.
Danny, you're even better than Caleb.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Life Reboot, way to finish. Beyond that, we do have a YouTube up, so if you want to catch up past broadcasts of 2020, we do have it up there.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of playlists, all the different events. Dangwu taking the lead on that, along with some help from, I think Dark Moon's done a lot of support with that, so big shout out and thank you to y'all. Life Reboot, let's talk about this seed. Final thoughts about everything. You got the floor is yours. Talk as long as you can, man.
I'm just curious if anyone else did Peninsula of Power like I did at the beginning or not.
Oh, that's actually awesome that you mentioned that. So there's one point where Dangwu and Salty Fry were holding hands through the volcano. I think Dangwu was checking the hairpin as Salty Fry was checking the cluster. You at that time were doing the pop grind, and Spellzap was doing the pop grind on just south of Lafane. So he was doing the north pop, you were doing the south pop, the other two were in the armory. So it was this kind of neat little route divergence synchronization, as the top two runners were on the northern parts of those maps and the bottom two runners were on the lower half of those maps. I got a real kick out of it.
Yeah, I was thinking with the shuffle trap tiles, it made sense to do the Peninsula of Power. Might have stayed there a little bit too long, but I did enjoy these flags. I need to remind myself that in this flag set, the Adamants and the TNT don't matter.
Yeah.
But that's just something I'll gain with experience.
Yeah, we did see that. When those fetch quest NPC blocks aren't checked, that means it's the Adamant's going to be Excal. The crown will lead to the key. It's your vanilla turn-ins, and we watched you do that a couple times. But like you said, it's just one of those things. If I were racing these flags, I probably would have done the same thing. It's one of those. We race so many different flags, and so many different flag sets become sort of standard options, like the fetch quest NPCs, the fetch quest rewards being randomized. So I don't fault you for mixing those up.
Understood. Well, I'll close with special thanks to the race crew, everyone that does the comms and the tracking, restreaming. Really appreciate that. Like I said, I'm relatively new to the community, and it's been great fun. Thanks very much.
Yeah. Well, thank you again to all the runners. Spellzap, Salty Fry, Life Reboot, Dangwu. Appreciate you guys volunteering to put yourselves up there and let folks have something to watch with Final Fantasy Randomizer. Big shout outs to Woat for doing the commentary with me. Danny, thank you so much for tracking. Thank you so much to Speed Gaming for restreaming us here and putting us on every week, every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Like I said, next week on GDQ Hotfix, we got Danny383 taking on Sho Fukamachi. at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and then at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have the FFR Iron Goal Heavyweight Metal Championship Belt thing. That's just going to be the first race of a whole new chapter of FFR Championship titles, and it's going to be really, really neat to see. So, hope to see everybody out there next week. Until then, see you next time.